Good morning. Oh, we can do better than that. Good morning. There we go, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Fullerton, California, an inclusive and safe community dedicated to building a better world. I'm Reverend Rob, and whoever you are, however you identify, whether you join us in person or online, know UUCF acknowledges that this land is physically situated in the original ancestral homelands of the Hachiman and for what has been broken and the wisdom to live into a new solidarity with indigenous communities and the earth. We have a lot of announcements today, so buckle up for that. It's a good thing. That means we have a lot of stuff going on. Of course, we are refreshing and getting a brand new website, and we need your photographs. So if you could email any photographs that you have of special days, special memories, and you would maybe like to see them on the website, you can send those photographs to the board email account. Rosie has the snack sign-up sheet. It is, and I know that is your pen. Rosie will be passing that around so that we get our hunger pangs taken care of. Just a reminder, the worship meeting, or the worship huddle as it is called, is going to be in the sanctuary for just like 5 minutes, right after the service. So Megan is here, and we will jump in and make sure that we get our worship associates ready for the next couple of months. Also, the stewardship training as we head into the annual pledge drive, that is happening in the choir area, and that starts at 1 o'clock. A huge thank you to everyone who worked to make our UUCF Social Action Fundraiser and Disability Rights Panel a success. Thank you to everyone who helped. Because of your generosity, we're going to be sending a check for $1,500 to the Richard R. Davis Foundation to assist people with disabilities who were affected by the Eaton Canyon fire in Altadena in January. $1,500. We're starting something new today after the service. All younger adults, we're talking Gen Zs and millennials. You're invited to eat, drink, and socialize at Jackson Chicks Tenders. Let's get to know each other and build community with some board games, some delicious grub, and all you have to do is speak to Megan Watson for details. The next Adult Circle Suppers, that is happening Saturday, April 12th. Space is limited. Reserve your spot today at uufullerton.org/circle supper, and my husband and I will be there as well. It will be good to spend some time with you. Now we invite up Jimmy Brinks from Drum to tell us a bit about their work for Black, Indigenous, and people of color in the UU community. Jimmy? It'll catch it.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jimmy Brink. I am here to invite you all to the Drum, California Spring Retreat the first weekend of May at the UU Church of Long Beach. And normally our drum events, well, if you aren't acquainted with the acronym DRUM stands for Diverse and Revolutionary Unitarian Universalist Multicultural Ministries, which I guess is up there on there, so you can read that. Anyway, so we're having our spring retreat, and normally it's a BIPOC only event, but there's two things that's significant about this particular retreat. There have been 13 previous Drum California retreats, and they've all been hosted by churches in the Bay Area. This is the first time we're having a Drum California retreat in Southern California, and it's also the first time that we're having a 3-day retreat. All the previous 13 retreats have all been one-day events. And even though it's usually a BIPOC only events that we host, this particular retreat has a lot of events that everybody can join in. So not just for BIPOCs, but all our allies. Please come. It starts off on Friday night, May 2nd, with a dance party. And to welcome everybody, so dust off your dancing shoes, or if you just want to mingle with dancers, please come. We're bringing down a DJ from the Bay Area, and she's also an NPR radio host, so it's going to be really exciting. And then we have our BIPOC-only safe space on Saturday morning, but in the evening on Saturday, May 3rd, if you know the band Emma's Revolution, they're going to be giving a concert at UU Long Beach at 7 p.m. So there's a lot of stuff for everybody. If you want more information, you can check with me after the service, or you can check the Drum website, or I think we're going to get some more information out through your normal church communications. So hope to see you all in Long Beach the first weekend in May. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. And we'd like to say a very special welcome to our guest speaker, Tricia O'Brien. She goes by Tricia. And Tricia is an MS. She's got a master's in science, in social psychology. She is a transgender woman who transitioned in early 2018 and is in the process of relocating to California. She loves being here, while it's also painful leaving her children, her granddaughter, her home, and part of her life back in St. Louis, Missouri. She has 3 grown children and loves playing the guitar, leading therapeutic music circle. Professionally, she describes herself as a nonprofit servant leader who is committed to those who are undervalued by our society and to creating opportunities for disadvantaged people. So let us give a warm welcome to Tricia O'Brien this morning. This is the first time that Tricia has been in a sanctuary before. Well, not before, but in a long time. And that's to let you know that those in the LGBTQ plus community can get really triggered by seeing stained glass, by seeing just sanctuaries in general, including myself for a while there. So this is a big day for Tricia, and we just are so glad that you are here this morning. Also, after the service, we have cards in the Chapman Lounge for you to write your congressperson, for you to write your senator in support of trans rights. You asked, what can we do? That's something that you can do after the service in the Chapman Lounge, and we're gonna even pay for the postage, slap that on there, and get the message out. The trans people deserve what we all deserve: respect and love and welcoming, and we are so glad that you are here. We'll be sharing joys and sorrows a little bit later in the service, so if you are in the sanctuary and you'd like to share, the slips are in the back, located on the back table. You can fill them out up to the end of a time for all ages. If you are joining us online, I invite you to post your joys and sorrows. I've got you live right here so we can lift you up this morning. So get in the comment section and let us know that you are here, and let us know how we can lift you up this morning. And now, those of you in the sanctuary are welcome to take a moment to greet one another. 1 to 2 minutes, maybe 3.
Good morning, everybody. It's so great to see such a full room. For those who are new here, my name is Christine Adaoka, and I'm your pianist. I am an educator both at RCC and UC Riverside, as well as a performer and composer. For our opening hymn, we'll be singing May Your Life Be as a Song. This is based on a Russian folk song written by Jim Scott and Yuri Zervitsky. So please rise in mind, body, or spirit and join us in singing. What we'll do first is we'll play the hymn for you, and then we'll sing on the second round. Here we go. May your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing awake the night and softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night. May your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing awake the night and softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night. May your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing awake the night and softly serenade the stars, ever dancing
dwells in the night.
We light this flame to ignite our hearts and minds, the spark of knowledge that enlightens, the shimmering hope that burns, the blazing love that engulfs our actions, the bonfire of our commitment. We light this flame for those who celebrate themselves, who fear, who hope, who persevere, who stand on the side of love for all. We light this flame for those who have been ridiculed, that they may find peace. For those who have fought to marry, that they may celebrate. For those who live in uncertainty in the world, that they may have hope. We light this flame to renew our commitment that no one shall ever again suffer for the right to love. We light this flame to celebrate our kaleidoscope of diversity, working, loving, and on the side of love. For all this, we light this flame. I now invite Tricia to light the chalice this morning. Here we go. Please join me in saying our unison affirmation. This flame affirms the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. Love is the doctrine that we share. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is to dwell to knowledge in freedom, to serve human need. Thus do we covenant with one another. We welcome donations of non-perishable food and personal care items for Pathways of Hope, a local food bank, and gently remind you to check those expiration dates. They are not allowed to accept expired food items. And now, the children are invited to come forward for a time for all ages.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we
While some donations are still coming up, I just wanted to mention that Pathways of Hope, who we give our food donations to, they put out a message on Friday that they did not get their usual grocery store donations. Usually grocery stores will provide the food anytime this week to drop off any other food donations. Maybe you didn't remember today. They really, really could use it this week. Okay, hi kids. That's my adult talk, and now I'm gonna, yeah, you can remind your parents, bug them. All right, today I have a story that was written by a 13-year-old named Jazz Jennings, and she wanted to write a book to kind of let people know about her life and her experience, because maybe people had met people like her. So Joy is gonna do me a favor and hold the microphone. So this is called I Am Jazz by Jazz Jennings and Jessica Herschel, and its pictures are by Shayla McNicholas, sorry. For as long as I can remember, my favorite color has been pink. My second favorite color is silver, and my third favorite color is green. Here are some of my other favorite things. dancing, singing, backflips, drawing, soccer, swimming, makeup, and pretending I'm a pop star. Most of all, I love mermaids. Sometimes I even wear a mermaid tail in the pool. I'm very jealous. Any of you ever worn a mermaid tail? You have? Oh my gosh, very jealous. And Casey, we always have fun together. We like high heels and princess gowns or cartwheels and trampolines. But I'm not exactly like Samantha and Casey. I have a girl brain, but a boy body. This is called transgender. I was born this way. When I was very little and my mom would say, "You're such a good boy," I would say, "No, mama, good girl." At first, my family was confused. They'd always thought of me as a boy. As I got a little older, I hardly ever played with trucks or tools or superheroes, only princesses and mermaid costumes. My brothers told me this was girl stuff. I kept right on playing. My sister says I was always talking to her about my girl thoughts and my girl dreams and how one day I would be a beautiful lady. She would giggle and say, "You're a funny kid." Sometimes my parents let me wear my sister's dresses around the house, but whenever we went out, I had to put on my boy clothes again. This made me mad. Still, I never gave up trying to convince them. Pretending I was a boy felt like telling a lie. Then one amazing day, everything changed. Mom and Dad took me to meet a new doctor who asked me lots and lots and lots of questions. Afterward, the doctor spoke to my parents, and that's when I heard the word transgender for the very first time. That night at bedtime, my parents both hugged me and said, "We understand now. Be who you are. We love you no matter what." This made me smile and smile. Mom and Dad told me I could start wearing girl clothes to school and growing my hair long. They would even let me change my name to Jazz. Being Jazz felt much more make me different from the other kids at school, but that being different is okay. What's important, she said, is that I'm happy with who I am. Being Jazz confused or caused some other people to be confused too, like the teachers at school. At the beginning of the year, they wanted me to use the boys' bathroom and play on the boys' team in gym class, but that didn't feel normal to me at all. I was so happy when the teachers changed their minds. I can't imagine not playing on the same team as Casey and Samantha. Even today, there are kids who tease me or call me a boy name or ignore me altogether. This makes me feel crummy. Then I remember that the kids who get to know me usually want to be my friend. They say I'm one of the nicest girls at school. I don't mind being different. Different is special. I think what matters most is what a person is like inside. And inside, I am happy. I am having fun. I am proud. I am Jazz. The end.
Go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to create a go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to create a brand new day. Learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way.
Those joining us online are invited to share in all caps a joy or sorrow in the comments section. And Mary Botts is back to help us in lighting the candle. For those sharing online and those in the sanctuary will be invited to come forward to light your own candle. We begin by lighting a candle for all our concerns. all of them, for this larger world. Our wish for peace and justice, and who will inherit this planet. May this candle represent all the wishes and calls to action that are more than we can possibly articulate in this space. And now, let us share the personal joys and sorrows in our lives. Peter Warner has a sorrow. Within the past 3 weeks, at my Mother Irene's group home in Garden Grove, one of the caregivers has been arrested. And so, Peter, we lift up that sorrow this morning. Okay, I'm seeing that on the back. Yes, there have been 2 patient fatalities. There's been ongoing high blood sugar issues related to the feeding of patients. And so we lift up your mom, Irene, and you, Peter. Okay, and we will lift you up. Thank you for that. And this is more about the conditions in the facility being toxic and unhealthy. Okay, thank you, Peter, and we're glad that you are here this morning. Judy Sterling, a joy. My daughter is visiting from the Bay Area, and she grew up in this church. Yes. A concern from Mary. Pathways of Hope needs donations of food. Their shelves are bare in this time of need. It is time to clean out your pantry. It is spring, so maybe this week dedicate some time to getting those canned foods that you're not using and get them to Pathways of Hope. This is a thank you from Debbie Langenbacher. A huge thank you to everyone who helped to make our disability rights fundraiser and panel. And a huge thank you to you, Debbie, for all that you do. That's our joy. We continue. There's what? Oh. Beth who? Beth Vasquez got engaged. There's another joy. We join you in celebrating your joys. May you feel our love and compassion for your sorrows and concerns, for all that is spoken and unspoken. May the caring of our beloved community sustain us all. Thank you, Chris. Let us move into the spirit of meditation, reflection, and prayer. You may close your eyes, take a deep breath, whatever helps you find your center. Embodiment and sexuality. Spirit of life and love, may we find appreciation today and in our lives for our embodiment. We are physical creatures, mind, spirit, and soul housed within our bodies. Our bodies, our physical form, allow us to experience the world. Taste chocolate chip cookies fresh from the oven. Touch the warmth and smoothness of a baby's skin. Sight the blossoming of colors of sunrise and sunset. Sound the laughter of friends and family. And smell the aroma of fresh baked bread. In particular today, may we find gratitude for our sexuality. May we be grateful for and appreciate our gender identity, our sexual orientation, our physical selves. May we appreciate the pleasure, the intimacy. Also remember that for many, sexuality can bring a variety of emotions: shame, sadness, trauma, anger, pain, and hurt. For all the joy and goodness that embodiment brings, it also has its challenges. Aching joints, long-term health conditions, severe illness, and more. Today, as we honor the whole of ourselves, we also honor the whole spectrum of sexual experience, holding the joys in all their riches and the sorrows in all their fullness in our hearts. Widening Our Welcome by Jonathan Chapman. Oh, look at the bunnies. Recently, I ordered 4-foot-tall rainbow bunnies for my church. Just after I hit order, I wondered if we really needed them. Later that day, one of my parishioners sent me a picture taken in front of a local church. On the lawn was an enormous banner with a picture of the Holy Family and the message, God's marriage equals one man plus one woman. Often people ask me why my church constantly hangs banners welcoming folks, particularly the LGBTQ plus community. They wonder why we're always lugging out our rainbows. This is why. Because you see, every church says everyone is welcome, but many of them make that a conditional welcome. You're welcome, but not your relationship, or who you love, or how you look, or how you think, or how you believe. Most churches don't put up banners like the one I saw, but many aren't far off from sharing the same sentiment. Listen, people can think what they want and believe what they want. I don't have to agree with everyone, and they don't have to agree with me, but as long as there are congregations willing to limit who is welcome, ours will work hard to widen that welcome. And as long as there are churchgoers who question the depth of love, we will keep hoisting our doors that proclaim its breadth. The truth is that we will fall short, and we do. But we keep trying. Because you see, there are people in the world who wonder if they are worthy of love, if they can be loved despite who they love. And in case that's you, yes, there's no despite about it. You deserve love. You are loved, especially by this congregation. That is Widening Our Welcome by Jonathan Chapman. Now we would like to invite our special guest preacher this morning. I'm gonna call her preacher because believe me, after you hear what she has to say, she's gonna take us to church this morning. So won't you give a warm welcome to our special speaker this morning, Tricia O'Brien.
It's a privilege and a pleasure to be here, and your welcome has been gorgeous and beautiful. And when I talked to Rob, he asked me to talk about two things: my experience as a transgender woman and to teach about how you can be allies to the community. And I'm an expert on my experience as being a transgender woman. I can talk about that all day, every day. How to be allies, I'm still learning that piece. And what I can share is my experience and what I yearn for. And what I don't know is how do we change the hearts and minds of people who hate my people. Part of the service, the sharing of the I Am Jazz story. It's what I longed for when I was young, and it's beautiful to hear that it's happening for young people today. It's beautiful. So, so I'm going to share some recent events, and then I'm going to go into some of the details of my story. And I'm going to ask to write a letter to grief. And what is grief telling me today? So, in fall of last year, I was living an amazing life in St. Louis, Missouri, where I lived from the summer of last fall. I have 3 grown children there, 25, 21, and almost 18. He's pretty close to grown. He thinks he's grown. My 25-year-old Lauren is such an amazing young woman and speaks her truth, and she's working to become an equine therapist. She's just an amazing mother and human being. My middle daughter, Lauren, Nikki, 21 years old. I do know their names. 21-year-old Nikki she's one of those people who, you know, when she was taking Calc 2 in her first semester of college, and she was upset about a 93 on her first, and more importantly, the reason I'm really proud of her is she is the kindest, most gentle human being that I have ever met. And then Patrick, who, he was 9 years old, and my kids still do call me dad, and I like that. I'm a dad who's a woman, and like I am legitimately a woman who can tell dad jokes, and that feels like a special privilege. But anyway, when I told Patrick he was 9 years old and he was watching a cartoon on TV about me being transgender and transitioning, he was thoughtful for a moment, and he said, "Dad, yes, can we still play baseball and go fishing together?" "Absolutely." "Cool." And he went back to his TV show. And he's a great baseball player, and the Padres need him. And we're working on that. There's a little bit of a path, but we're hoping, you know. And I have this amazing granddaughter, Elena Carolyn Grace. I love saying her name, and her face is pure joy. And the first 4 months that I was in California were incredibly painful and hard, and I carried a picture of her everywhere I went, and she helped me through what I thought would destroy me. And I was director of career services at Doorways, a wonderful nonprofit in St. Louis, and we gave people that the world didn't love. We showed them love, and we showed them that they deserve good things like all the rest of us, and a lot of them found those good things. And I wasn't okay. Everything looked great, and I wasn't okay in the morning, and with strong thoughts of ending my life. And I had the means to do it, and I laid in bed for 2 hours thinking about it with very little feeling, just thinking about it. And then I thought about my 21-year-old daughter in the room next to me, who had, you know, only a couple years prior watched her grandma die, and that was really traumatic for her, and I just couldn't do that to her. So kind of with the same amount of feeling I would have if I decided to have pepperoni pizza instead of cheese, I flushed those pills down the toilet, and I got dressed and I went to work, and I presented to my CEO, and she praised me, just, you know, and it's what I was doing, and I wasn't okay. So about a week before the election, I knew I needed help, and that's when I decided to come to do a residential treatment program for depression and PTSD in Del Mar. And then the election happened. And somehow on November 7th, I got myself to San Diego in one piece, and the adventure started. And the first assignment they gave me when I got into the treatment program, they said, we want you to write an autobiography. And, it should probably be like, maybe 3 or 4 pages about what brought you here. And mine is about half finished, and I think it's 80 pages typed. If you know me, you know how funny that is and how obviously that would happen. And when I got there the first night, I had a really awful panic attack, and I ended up talking to this nurse named Michelle. And Michelle listened, and I told her about what it was like being transgender in a red state where it's not safe to be transgender. And Michelle said to me, where I come from, we call you rainbows. And I just thought it was so beautiful. It's like, no, we don't have the rainbow symbol like we do, but no, it's beyond that. We call you rainbows. And for the rest of my time in treatment, Michelle, where is it that you come from? Where is this place that you call us rainbows? She never answered that question, and I still want to know. I still want to know. So I'm going to share a chapter, some pieces from a chapter. I'm actually still writing. And the first sentence is the first paragraph. Please stop hurting me. I just want to live. I won't hurt you. Please let me live. I was born in December of 1967. I looked like a boy, but always felt like a misfit in the worlds of boys and men. I've always been female inside, and I hated, like Jazz shared with us in that story, I hated pretending to be something else. It was a lie. It was an elaborate lie. As part of an ultra-religious family, I felt ashamed and disgusted by myself, and I was certain that their God hated me and that I was destined for hell. I was certain of it. I remember one Easter Sunday, I was given a little stuffed animal that I named Bun Bun. It was a tiny little rabbit like this. And one afternoon, it was a spring morning, and outside of Chicago at that time, I took Bun Bun and I borrowed my sister's tea set, and I found a little blanket, and I went out in the backyard, and Bun Bun and I were having a tea party, and it was delightful. And then the neighbors had some workers in the yard doing some landscaping and cutting some trees and things, and I felt shame. I was supposed to be a boy, and this is like the girliest thing ever, and I felt shame. And I remember being very young, and my mom signed us up for ice skating classes, my siblings and me, and so we went to these ice skating classes, and I just remember those skating dresses, how pretty and cute and delicate they were. And I wanted to just be able to wear one like the other girls. But, I was supposed to be a boy, though, and I couldn't do that. I mean, it was hard. I thought about it all the time. Still long for that. One day, this little blonde boy, Johnny Pottenbaum, is that not the best name in the world? He came up to me, and he just took my hand. He took my left hand in his, and he just kind of led me around the ice skating rink, I think 3 times maybe, and I loved it. I don't know what drew him to me. I don't know what he was thinking, because I haven't seen or talked to him since, but it was beautiful, and I was in heaven. And then a kid came up to me and said, "What, are you two gay?" And I felt shame. And I think my ultra-religious mother, who is a child abuser, and worse, I think she learned of what happened and never went ice skating again. That was it. So, in 2nd grade, I was really scared of hell. I was going to hell because God hated me because I was a girl, looked like a boy. So I came up with a plan, because we were Catholic. We were we were more Catholic than any pope has ever been. And so to keep myself out of hell, I thought, if I become a priest, and I'm down for Father Tricia jokes, they just need to be original, but maybe if I become a priest, God will stop hating me and I won't have to go to hell. And that ultimately led to 6 years in Catholic seminary studying to be Father Tricia. And, but that was in second grade. As a second grader, I was convinced myself from the wrath of a hateful God. So I kept to myself. Fast forward to middle school, I didn't have friends. I felt really uncomfortable with boys. I did feel comfortable hanging around with girls. I enjoyed them. They're fun. And they still are. And weird in a delightful way. I remember one day being at the water fountain, and I hold my books up to my chest like girls do. I'd never thought about it. It's just what I did. And I remember, oh, you hold your books like a girl. And I felt ashamed, boys, so I started holding them down on my side, you know, and there are so many stories like that. So I learned to watch the boys and imitate and mimic the boys so I wouldn't be mocked. And I was dead inside. So, and that went on through high school. My feminine existence, my feminine reality was a source of shame. It was a disgusting secret to be shoved with great force into the deepest and darkest abyss. During my 19-year marriage, my wife believed that I wasn't attracted to her and that I didn't love her. I did love her, like a sister or a good friend. I didn't know how to be like a husband. I didn't, because I wanted to have a husband. And I caused her a lot of pain because I couldn't be honest, either of us. See, if I shared this whole thing, we'd be here for well over an hour, so I have to skip. So I lied to myself. I lied to Michelle. And we became part of a really conservative evangelical church. I lied to the people in that church. It wasn't fair to her or me, but I was the one who couldn't be honest. So I also didn't know what transgender was. Didn't know. Like when I was a kid, there was no internet. There was no Jazz Jennings. It wasn't discussed. I thought I was the only one. And then it was around 2010 on the internet, and I learned about a woman named Calpurnia Adams. She was beautiful. She certainly wasn't the freak that I believed myself to be. And I read about her transition and her story, and she had a boyfriend, and he was a soldier, and they were in love. And his friends or colleagues, the other soldiers, beat him and killed him for dating her. So it was a heartwarming and heartbreaking story. It still is for me. And I knew she wasn't going to hell for being trans, but I still was. And I couldn't destroy my family. After all, if I could resist Satan, he would flee, right? That's what I kept being told. And I resisted, and I fought, and I really tried to kill the woman who was hiding inside me. I engaged in, and I think a lot of trans women from my generation have done this, I engaged in what I call hyper-masculine behaviors. And so I started a construction company. I bought guns and I learned to shoot guns, and I don't do that anymore. I don't have access to those things anymore for kind of obvious reasons if you know my story. But running a construction company, I was 40 years old. We did hardwood flooring. And I could outperform any 20-year-old on that job site because I was proving how masculine. You see how that worked out? Like I really proved it, right? But anyway, eventually I couldn't take it, and I started buying dresses and skirts and hiding them in the back of my heavy-duty construction van with the tools. And it's surreal, and I'm gonna have to skip a lot of things that I want to share. One day I was driving that construction van, and I was just ruminating. I can't think as a can't stand it, and I'll go to hell if I live as a woman. And I just couldn't. And I screamed at the top of my lungs to God, "Why do you hate me? It's not my fault." And with both hands, I pounded on the steering wheel. I bent the steering wheel of a heavy-duty Ford because I didn't like it. I still feel the bruises when I tell that story. It hurt. I said, "Why do you hate me, God? It's not my fault." And I didn't hear a voice. There was no burning bush, but I felt a voice. And that voice, and that wasn't God or my higher power or whatever you want to call that being. That voice wasn't being snarky with me. It wasn't being sarcastic. That voice was telling me, "Tricia, you don't need to tell me that it's not your fault. You don't need to tell me to not be ashamed of you. You need to tell yourself that this isn't your fault. You need to tell yourself to stop being ashamed." And then it was a couple years later who I was talking about my gender identity battle, and she just looked at me and said, I can't help you." And I'm like, "Oh, what?" And in a moment of greatness, she said, "No one can help you until you accept and embrace who you are." And I knew. And it took me another 2.5 years, but I did it. I'm Tricia now. So what did transition cost me? It cost me the loss of my children temporarily, 2 of them for 5 years, 1 of them for a few months. The loss of every friend but 2. Constant dirty looks in public, fear using the bathroom. California is a million times better than Missouri. Loss of church in everybody I knew. Sitting alone and feeling isolated at my son's baseball games. I went through conversion therapy. That was fun. It was awful. So, in December of last year, we were on pure terror, and I'm sorry if I'm going over it up, but my home state, Missouri, which is still my home. I would go back. I love that y'all call rain severe weather. In Missouri, we sit on the deck and watch the tornadoes, all right? It's different here. Okay. They're working on 56 laws to restrict my rights, and I have to leave. I can't go home. So I'm going to share my letter to grief, and then I'll be done. Dear grief, I've chosen you over fear, though I might not be feeling you right now. In spring of 2022, I had come to the very logical conclusion that my life would soon end by suicide. I had many options for completing this with a preferred plan, but had not yet decided on the time, place, or other details. I did start writing farewell letters. One friend had even given me permission Though I knew it broke his heart, we had tried everything, and death seemed the only humane option for me. I've spoken of why I took that drastic step of flying from the Midwest to Ocala, Florida for a 45-day residential program this a few years ago. Talk about a Hail Mary. In Florida, I learned to find joy despite my crushed heart, aching heart, and depression. I returned home in May 2022, worked hard, and built a life that I truly love. I love my life in Missouri, and I'm terrified to live in Missouri. I am a transgender woman living in a religiously and politically oppressive state. I'm always scared there. For 7 to 10 consecutive nights, I've awakened to panic attacks that led to long, terrifying nights of little sleep and intense suicidal ideations. Terror. I could see fear in the eyes of nurses who clearly longed to help me, to protect me, but what could they do? They fear for my life. 2 days ago, when I had written this letter, on Wednesday, December 4th, I accepted that my home is no longer safe for me, and that what I have there is no longer mine. I know it's breaking my heart, but grief, I must not be ready for you yet. I know you're coming, though, and that's okay. I've chosen you over fear. I've chosen you so that I can live free. So it's okay. I'll be seeing you soon. So, grief, what are you telling me? You're telling me that I've learned to love despite my intense fear of closeness. You're telling me how precious my relationships with Lauren, Nikki, Patrick, and Elena are, and I'm grateful for that. Grief, you're telling me I've thrived in my career and personal mission despite severe doubt and even self-hatred. Grief, I do not look forward to your visit, but I'm here and waiting. Grief, you are the price of joy, and I'm ready. So how can you be allies? You're being allies today, hearing me, and by caring, and thank you.
The only way that we are going to learn is by listening, by hearing stories behind these letters, this LGBTQ plus, we are people. And we get to see this beautiful face, this beautiful human being who is part of a community that is the most under attack right now. And so I hope that this has been a healing experience for you in walking into a sanctuary but seeing and the standing ovation and the hugs that you will receive. Thank you for your sacred story. Thank you, Tricia. Socialism is a grand vision of a world filled with peace, justice, love, and joy. That vision is embodied in a few large congregations, numerous mid-sized congregations, and many, many small congregations. No matter its size, every congregation depends on each of its members. Each of you, by your commitment of time, energy, and resources, helps make the grand vision real. Individually and together, we are Unitarian Universalists, building a world filled with peace and justice and love and joy. Let's sing our final closing hymn. with Christine.
For our closing hymn. Oh, testing.
For our closing hymn, please join us by singing hymn 1064, Blue Boat Home.
Please rise in mind, body, or spirit.
Please rise in mind, body, or spirit
And join us in
and join us in singing.
The below may I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
Today, our caring listener is Kyra Keener. You can speak with her after the service if you have any concerns or simply would like someone to talk to, and trust that what you share is always confidential. Now, for our closing words, please join hands if you wish. Yes, the sea is all of ours, but we are in different boats. That means some of us are treated differently. That means some of us are treated poorly with hate. Now we have heard a story today from Tricia, a gift from her to us, to send us on our way to write our congresspeople, which you can do in the Chapman Lounge afterwards, to call Washington, to march, and to seek justice love kindness, and walk in humility. May the Spirit of God surround you where So we're doing it a little out of order, but now we extinguish this chalice. But not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts wherever we may go. And so we say together, Amen, Shalom, Salam, Namaste, and blessed be.